Let's begin with chapter number 9 from your history book of grade 6, and the name of the chapter is the Mauryan Empire. And first and foremost thing is, let us get introduced to the Mauryan Empire. First of all, with the establishment of the Mauryan Empire, we can say it was a beginning of an era where we are finding that India is getting politically united among themselves, as because India was divided into numerous small kingdoms. They were fighting against each other, but Mauryans, and so or you can say the Mauryan Empire was the first, you can say, first empire to control a large part of India and to make it a politically unified kingdom, and a large part of India got united by the Mauryans. So what are the sources from where we come to know? Sources means from where we are coming to know about this unification or the way they used to rule. Okay, those are called the sources. So we are having two types of sources. One is the literary sources and the other is the archaeological sources. Literary sources means the written sources in the books or pamphlets or like the something. It's a written format. And archaeological sources means, you can say, about the rocks, about the pillars, about the coins, money. All these are coming under the archaeological sources. Let's begin the chapter. The establishment of the Mauryan Empire marks the beginning of a new period in Indian history. For the first time, a large part of the country was politically unified under the Mauryans. Sources. Literary sources. Arthashastra was written by Chanakya. Chanakya, often known as Kautilya. Okay, this book deals with the art of administration and politics. Indika was written by Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. This book provides valuable information on Mauryan administration and on the economic and social conditions of that people. Okay, so archaeological sources are the rock and the pillar edicts, or you can say depicts, okay, or projects. It's about of Ashoka also provides as valuable information about the Mauryan Empire. The silver coins and of the Mauryans deal, or you can say tell us a lot about the economic condition under the Mauryans. So first we are going to know about the Chandragupta Maurya. In 1321 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya overthrew the last Nanda dynasty, that was the Dhananand, and seized the throne of Magad. His success was largely due to the guidance and training of his advisor Chanakya. So, Chanakya was the trainer, or you can say guider, or the teacher of Chandragupta Maurya. And Chandragupta Maurya was trained in such a way by Chanakya or Kautilya, so that he could overthrow or kill, you can say, Dhananand and take away his throne. Okay, Chandragupta was an official in the army of the Nandas. He wanted to overthrow the extremely unpopular Dhananand. He escaped to Punjab, where he met Chanakya and learned and wise Brahmana scholar and a teacher in Takshila University. So Chanakya was a teacher, or you can say a scholar of Takshila University. There Chandragupta is going and taking the training from there. Okay, so Chanakya, who had a personal grudge, means personal anger against Dhananand, trained Chandragupta in the arts of warfare. Warfare means how they are going to fight in the war. Okay, different kind of techniques of war and the administration. He helped Chandragupta to organize an army and seize the throne of Magad by overthrowing Dhananand. Chanakya's guidance was as valuable and important as Chandragupta's bravery and military strength in laying the foundation of his Mauryan Empire. So, Chanakya was very important. Chanakya was playing a very important role, okay, in the Mauryan establishment of the Mauryan Empire. Where equally we are finding that Chandragupta Maurya was also very keen, very interested, or you can say very brave and intelligent, right? And getting the throne also. So both the combinations of Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya was excellent. Right, a few years after Alexander's death, fighting broke out between his generals for the control of his vast empire. Okay. Seleucus, one of the Alexander's generals, became the ruler of the territory stretching from Asian Minor to the Indus. In 1305 BCE, he crossed the Indus to recover the territories that Alexander had conquered earlier. Now, Chandragupta Maurya defeated him and freed the northwestern India from the Greek control. Seleucus was compelled, means forced, to sign a treaty. Treaty means agreement, okay, according to which he had to give eastern Afghanistan, Balochistan, and areas west of the Indus to Chandragupta. He gave his daughter to Chandragupta in marriage and sent Megasthenes as ambassador to Chandragupta's court. In return, Seleucus rewarded 500 war elephants. Chandragupta Maurya built a vast empire which was the first great empire in Indian history. By the end of his reign, or by the end of his rule, the Mauryan Empire stretched from the Hindu Kush in the northwestern to Bengal in the east, from the Himalayas in the north to the Narmada in the south. The powerful kingdom of Kalinga in the east, however, was independent at that time also. You can find the marking of Kalinga in the map, right? Thank you.